Welcome to the Now. I'm Ashley Jenkins. The internet was abuzz yesterday with the news of Red Dead Redemption 2's delay by Rockstar and what that announcement did to parent company Take-Two stock. By close yesterday, Take-Two stocks had nosedived about 10%, which is a lot. But as of their earnings briefing and open this morning, they're now at an all-time high at about $76 per share. Very manic. Part of that has to do with the good news from the briefing, which showed that things are still looking great for the company throughout the year, thanks in large part to big sales for Mafia 3, which has quietly sold 5 million units, and the continued success of Grand Theft Auto 5. That money-printing open-world game has now moved more than 80 million copies, according to the company. So take every PS4 and every Xbox One and imagine all those people buying at least one copy of GTA 5. That's a lot of copies. But that's not all Take-Two discussed in the call with investors. They also hinted at a highly anticipated new title from one of 2K's biggest franchises due out in fiscal 2019. So that would place the launch sometime between April 2018 and March 2019, so it's possible that means it would be out before the end of next year. As for what this highly anticipated new title is, the biggest bets are either the BioShock or Borderlands franchises, although other franchises from the company also include XCOM, Mafia, Civilization, so pretty much all of them are awesome options, but most people's money is on Borderlands 3, as Gearbox confirmed its development earlier this year with an Unreal Engine 4 tech demo at GDC. Now, it sounds like, tragically, things are still looking down for IO Interactive, the studio behind the Hitman game. After being dropped by Square Enix earlier this month, the developers announced this morning they've had to lay off some of their staff as well. They tweeted that these changes will allow us to be better equipped for our future adventures. We're sad that great talent and good friends will be leaving the studio. Square Enix announced at their most recent investor briefing that they'll be putting IO up for sale. According to rumors, the studio is still at work on the next season of Hitman, with the next game already 50% complete, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it finds a good home, and hopefully there are some studios out there looking for awesome talent, because some are now available. Now, you can pretty easily fill in the phrase "isn't coming to Nintendo Switch" with, well, most of the upcoming AAA titles these days, and now we've got another one because it looks like Shadow of War will be skipping Nintendo's console as well. Monolith's creative VP Michael DePlatter confirmed this Switch snub in a recent interview with GameSpot, saying the company has no plans for Switch at this time. So you can add Shadow of War to Destiny 2, Assassin's Creed Origins, and, well, probably a lot of other titles that haven't even been announced yet, until it becomes super successful and then suddenly everything is on it. Now, if you're wondering what the hell is going on at Valve in recent years, well, their most recent additions to the team might puzzle you even further. Yesterday, Valve confirmed that they've hired the developers of the popular Kerbal Space Program. Valve said in a statement to PC Games and yesterday, yes, they joined a little while ago and we will have more news about what they're doing soon. So wait, Valve is still in game development? I'm so confused now. However, the idea that the whole team left Squad, the Kerbal studio, didn't sit too well with the game's fans. Now, Squad is responding to this report, ensuring everybody that everything is just fine. They insist the core team is still in place, saying if this rumor is indeed true, we can only wish whomever they are good luck and success in their current and future endeavors. Presumably you'd know if your whole team left or not, so it may just be a select few developers who worked on the game at some point. We'll see. Is the video game voice actor strike starting to show signs of improvement? Are we gonna get through this? Well, the strike against 11 major video game companies, including Activision, Disney, EA, Insomniac, Take-Two, and Warner Brothers, has now dragged on for several months, but according to SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild, progress is being made. In their most recent trade magazine, the Guild reports that 20 different companies have agreed to the Guild's terms in at least 30 new upcoming games. They reported that these deals have the same terms that the AAA companies have refused, which sort of indicates that none of the original companies named in the strike have complied just yet. However, that may put pressure on them to agree if others in the industry are signing up. You just gotta get that ball rolling. times are pretty good these days at Sony. According to DualShockers, company info shows that the PlayStation Network online service now has reached 70 million monthly active users, which is a lot of people. By comparison, Xbox Live is anywhere from 52 to 55 million monthly active users, and PlayStation Plus, the paid version of PSN, is up to 26.4 million users. As you probably know, the PlayStation 4 has been the console champ this generation in terms of sales so far, and Sony predicts that it will ship 78 million units by March of next year. Just think of all the extra GTA 5 copies that can move. Not quite the heights that were hit by PlayStation 2 and the Wii yet. They still have time because the Wii sold over 100 million units. I think the last I saw it was 101 million specifically, but still 78 million, very respectable total in an era where consoles are allegedly on the decline. Maybe they're not. Now, apparently the Resident Evil movies, not finished yet. You thought you had the last one? Oh no! Yeah, everyone thought that the franchise had ended earlier this year with Resident Evil The Final Chapter, since it's called The Final Chapter. But according to Variety, the franchise will be rebooted with a whopping 6 movies. Now, we don't know much else at this point, but Deadline reported that James Wan, who directed Aquaman and The Conjuring, will produce the first movie. Even though the franchise allegedly had wrapped up, it's not too hard, honestly, to see why they're already rebooting it. Resident Evil as a franchise has made $1.2 billion worldwide, which makes it the highest grossing film series to be based on a video game, even though I think you're kind of stretching it at that point, because the first one, I would say, was based on a video game. After that, they just spun off into their own whole world. But you know what? If it gets video games through, like, to break the curse, we'll take it, all right? So yeah, those kinds of returns, makes sense they want to make more Resident Evil movies, especially since they don't cost anywhere near what like an Avengers costs to make. Now, the director of District 9 and Elysium says he'll be releasing some experimental short films on Steam, of all places. Neil Blomkamp said he will release the experimental films under his company Oats Studios and made the announcement with a quick teaser trailer. But they won't just be on Steam, not exclusively. Blomkamp also said in a tweet that the movies would be offered for free on YouTube, but that he'll charge for a few of them on Steam to see if the ecosystem works for film. Apparently, he's been thinking about this for a while. Last month, he asked on Twitter if people would pay for short films on Steam as tests for potential full-feature films. At the very least, kind of an interesting way to get your ideas out there, and honestly, the teaser trailer looks pretty good. I mean, it's Neil Blomkamp, so I was already in. Now, Universal is now calling its classic monster movie reboots the Dark Universe, officially, and the studio has announced the second movie in the interconnected universe. As has been previously reported, Tom Cruise is already confirmed to star in a reboot of The Mummy, kicking off an effort by Universal to make a series of interconnected movies based on classic monster properties. And the studio announced recently that the second movie, Bride of Frankenstein, will hit theaters in 2019. No word yet on a star yet for the title role, but it will be directed by Beauty and the Beast's Bill Kdin. In addition to Cruise, Universal has other heavyweights signed on to play key roles, including Javier Bardem as Frankenstein's monster, Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man, although do we really need someone to play the Invisible Man? Isn't that just CG these days? And Russell Crowe will also appear in The Mummy, which releases next month, and hopefully has music. The developer behind Yandere Simulator has been accused of stealing art from others, but he says he's innocent. In a recent video, the developer, known as Yandere Dev, said he wanted to quickly communicate the idea that I might add DLC rivals to the game one day. So he Googled some images, turned them into silhouettes, and put them into the video. That led to outcries that he was stealing art from others, but Yandere Dev countered that it was fair use. He said in a blog, "Everyone who's freaking out about this is starting drama just for the sake of having some drama to talk about. This is not a big deal." This isn't the first time Yandere Simulator's had a little bit of controversy. The anime schoolgirl murder fest / love you too much game has already been banned from Twitch, but Yandere Dev has soldiered on, recently signing a deal with developer TinyBuild to help complete the game. That said, using someone's art in a commercial product, that's not really how fair use works, but you know what? You do you, and we'll see how that falls out. Now, to end on a sad note, Roger Moore, the actor best known for playing James Bond in 7 films, has died at age 89. His children announced his death on Twitter today, saying that he passed after a short but brave battle with cancer. As we said, Moore was known for being the 3rd James Bond and is still some people's favorite because of the humor he brought to the role. He also had the longest run in the role, beginning in 1973 with Live and Let Die and ending in 1985 with A View to a Kill. R.I.P. Roger Moore, filling Sean Connery's shoes. No easy task, but you did an admirable job, and you will be missed. Leave us your favorite James Bond role from Sir Roger Moore in the comments below, and let's all remember him together. But as of their earnings report, as of the earnings briefing, second movie in the interconnected universe. As has been previously reported, Tom Cruise is already confirmed to star in a reboot of The Mummy, kicking off an effort. As has